All right, man. Welcome to the Strong Men, Strong Marriages podcast. Still out for now. I might change the name. I'm not exactly sure. Grounded Leadership, Grounded in God. Anyway, Strong Men, Strong Marriages still for now. Getting through crappy family times. So, like, Christmas can be a great time of year. It can also be hard. You can feel like you're missing if you're going through difficulties with your wife, with your kids, parents, whatever. Hard times in families just happen. Um, no matter what. Sometimes you get yourself in that mess. Sometimes it just happens because that's part of development. It's kind of what we're going to talk about a little today. So there is a way to get through it more effectively and less effectively, and we're going to talk about that today. So my name is Mike Frazier, MD. I help high-achieving Christian men have more intimate marriages, have better relationships with God, themselves, their wife, others, all of that. So some wins from guys in the program. Guys are setting up vacations with their wives, which is super cool, super fun to see. Proud of the guys for doing that. Guys are feeling a lot more grounded, more solid, more confident, which is awesome. No matter what their wife's up to, which is the cool part. Guys are finding peace inside with God, no matter what's going on around them, with their wife, with their kids, with work. We can find that peace. This past week I was feeling a little bit off on that, not as grounded, not as connected. Went for my run today, just had up my to-do list, spend time with God. So went out and in nature, found some cool paths and talked with God for a long time. And a lot of that's just kind of what we're talking about today. So, if you're feeling kind of off, not grounded, not centered, maybe you just need to spend a little more time with God, recreate that connection, that strong connection. And for me, this, had some good wins. Like Elizabeth and I are doing great, a lot more connected. Yeah, things are looking really good. And then with my oldest son, I just had this revelation today about manure. So, look, it's normal to get sick of difficult, crappy times in your life, in your marriage, in your work, whatever, right? Maybe with your wife, you're being rejected physically, emotionally, mentally. Maybe you're separated right now. Maybe you're looking down the barrel of a divorce and it's crappy, I don't swear hardly ever, but the funny thing about it today was actually like in this talking with God kind of had this thought come to me, like it's a shitty time. It just is, right? Like when these kind of things happen. It's like manure, right? It's like manure's everywhere, shit's everywhere, crap's everywhere, right? That's hard when you're going through tough times with your wife or with your kids, right? For me, the hardest part of parenting for sure has been parenting teenagers who are largely ungrateful and selfish and rude and but really don't bring me personally a lot of joy in a lot of ways that age range because of all of that. Some kids are more like that than others, and it's hard, right? So you got a couple options, right? One is just really fight against it, fight against that idea. Feel like it's unfair. They shouldn't be treating me that way. My wife shouldn't be treating me that way. I'm providing for these people. This isn't fair. It can definitely lead you to want to quit, want to give up, want to go an easier route. I was on this run today and kind of talking with God, like, man, how bad would it be? Because one thing I really believe now is that, God is still with me, even if I were to choose a different path, right? I've got a wife, I've got kids. The Christian ideal is that you stay faithful to them no matter what. And the other way is wrong. The other way is the devil. The other way is Satan. Like if you leave your kids, you abandon your kids, that's evil, wicked, that should be frowned upon. What I'm coming to see is just, look, like God's going to be with me even if I were to go abandon my family, right? Go run up to Mexico. Don't leave a forwarding address, right? I speak Spanish to go find a girl down there to get together with, right? I could do that. And it would probably be kind of fun, honestly, for a while. But, this is what was coming to me on my path today. Would God be with me in this? I think he would. Not in that he would be like, hey, Mike, yeah, great idea. This is exactly what you should be doing. But kind of like, okay, yeah, I'm going to come with you down that path. But also, like, maybe I'll be kind of helping you see some things that maybe this isn't going to lead to the best long-term happiness and fulfillment for you. Um, so yeah, it was kind of funny. I was running this path. I was thinking this way, and literally a fork in the road came up on my run. And it was like, okay, Mike, like you can choose either way here. You can kind of stay faithful with your family. You can go this other way. But what came to mind is like, there's going to be a price to pay either way, right? Like, okay, down this path, there was the left side path I was seeing and kind of picturing in my mind. Okay, that's the leave your family, run to a different country, set up a new life down there, right? That's one path. And the other path on the right side was just, sticking with my family. So the end of the path on the left side, run off to a different country and find girls to get together with down there, leads to fun for a while. But then at the end of the day, who's there? Like, if I'm in trouble, who's there if I run out of money? Who's there if I, am not providing what these seeming friends are getting from me, right? I'm kind of taking advantage of them. They're kind of taking advantage of me. And at the end of the day, there's no one really there. I think that's part of the parable of the prodigal son, right? He goes and has all this fun, but when shit hits the fan, he's in there with the pigs. No one's with him, right? And that's that kind of party lifestyle. People don't really have true friends down that path. They're going to be with them in the down times, right? So yeah, you can have fun for a while, but you're going to pay later, right? You're going to have fun now, you're going to pay later, and it's probably going to be not very fun, the payment later. The other side, okay, there's a payment to be made. There's a shitty time to go through first, okay? So whether that's just being there with your wife through it, like a physical illness, maybe it's a mental illness, maybe it's this separation or divorce time, maybe with your kids, it's them just being rude and ungrateful. And really when I thought about this, I'm like, you know what, I'm complaining a lot about my kid, but there's a lot of good stuff about him, and he's really not doing that much that's problematic besides kind of ignoring sometimes. It just sets me off because of my own background and stuff. He could certainly be doing a lot worse things than what he's doing. But yeah, it's still not fun for me. But that's the price, right? I need to get through that. And this is what God kind of helped me see, right? It's like, hey, yeah, he's going to act shitty for a while, but then that grows into something good. This is the manure phase. It doesn't smell good. It's not fun. It's dirty. It's gross, but get through it, right? That's the phase. You stay consistent. You go and make sure things are looking good once a day, and then let nature take its course here. Let God take his course. Let that grow and grow into something good, because it will, right? If I continue to be there and continue to support, right? That's the price. The other thing I could do, right, is just burn that bridge, say you're out, right? I don't care if I see you anymore. What happens then? That disrupts the whole family unit, not just my relationship with that son, but with all my kids, with my wife, with myself, really. So these are all choices. They're all options that I have, right? But it's just, what price do I want? What consequences do I want? Long-term and short-term, right? Fortunately, life seems to be kind of like that. A lot of times what you need to sacrifice short-term gives you the better benefit long-term. True for your physical body. You got to do exercise, not always that fun. But that's what gives you good results. Eat healthy, sometimes not all that fun. You have to turn down all these holiday treats. It's not fun in the moment. It is not. But a few months down the road, when you are healthy and have good energy and you're looking good and in good shape, okay, that's the payoff. So yeah, everything's got a price, right? And for great relationships, being consistent through these crappy manure times, that is the price, okay? So one message I got from God recently was just this line of like, okay, as a dad, what's my job? Stay, care, and hold the line with love. Like down the line, I want all my kids, especially through these crappy times, I want them to be able to say, yeah, I treated my dad really bad, but he stayed there anyway, and he was still there, and he still cared, right? I'm sure it upset him, but he still stayed around, right? Let me know I cared. So the other thing I realized for myself, I don't like not having something clear to do. So God was like, hey, look, use that to your advantage. Just make sure you say something positive to each kid each day, especially the ones you're struggling most with at the moment. So I'm going to start doing that, and that'll be a good way for me to just show up a little bit every day. Yeah, it's the manure time. It's gross. If I step in it, my foot gets gross, okay? But I can still go by, check in. If the ground needs a little bit of water, that's what it is. If I need to kind of move the manure around a little bit, I'm going to do that, okay? I might get some on me. I might need to go take a shower, right? But that's the price, because I do want most to, when I have a hard time, have people that will support me. But what's the price for that? The price is me supporting them when they're having a hard time. And this isn't even necessarily a hard time. This is like a developmental time, but it is hard. Adolescents, their brains are rewiring, they're changing, right? They need someone consistent. I want to be that. It's hard for me. I want to do it. This is the price, right? God help me see all this today. And with kids too, the other thing God helped me see is like they care more than they show. So teenagers, this is how they behave. They act like they don't care, even though they do, right? And I happen to know that from various circumstances, but yeah, pay now or pay later, right? When it comes to family life and that kind of thing, yeah, there's crappy times for sure, right? So you can go through those and create this garden that grows through this manure phase and, comes out with all this fruit. You're with your grandkids and enjoying that. That's the other thing God was helping me see. He's like, look, yeah, you can cut off your kid, but, he's not necessarily going to want you to be around his kids like your grandkids if you're going to be like that. I don't want that. I want to have a good relationship with my grandkids. And really, I do want to and believe that going through this crappy phase will get us to a good spot. I believe it. It's developmental, it's normal. Some's personal, most of it's developmental and normal. Stay, care, hold the line with love, right? He cares more than he shows. God's with me while I parent him. That's what I have on my screensaver right now. Like, remind myself of this. It's a phase. It's the manure phase. It is not a fun phase. It is not. I really do not like it. I hate it, actually. But now I'm seeing it more as, yeah, this is a crappy phase. It's a shitty phase. But it's necessary, actually, and it's important. It's part of development, and we're going to get to a good place at the end of it. And my job is just be here through it. That's the price to get what I want, which is good, strong relationships with my wife and my kids long-term, forever, right? And my grandkids, and have generations that do that. There's a reason why not a lot of people have that, right? Because there is a pretty steep price to pay for it. Especially if, you've got some of your own stuff to go through, which most of us do. So, yeah, bottom line, guys, crappy times are going to come, okay? With kids, to me, I think the teen years are the crappiest years. They're very hard for me. Maybe for you, it's different, right? But either way, like, there's going to be a time that's just a crappy time, right? Or maybe that's with your wife, or maybe that's with work or whatever, right? There's just crap you have to go through. That's just part of this process, okay? They're required to turn it into something great, okay? So with your wife, if you put yourself in a tough spot, okay, like this crappy time, this shitty time, it's usually required to grow something great, okay? So you stay up, right? You be there. So look, it's hard to tolerate this, especially for a high-achieving guy. Our brains don't really like to not have something to do, but hopefully this helps you see, okay, like, yeah, it's a phase, right? And it's a necessary phase. Maybe the manure analogy helps. Yeah, like, you do need it. You need to grow. We still need it. Would it be nice if it didn't stink? Would it be nice if it wasn't gross? Yes, but that's just how it is for the best growth. Okay. So look, if you want to be with other guys who are trying to do this work together, connect with God, connect with themselves, connect with their wife and kids, and then really grow, grow together in their careers, and do that growth together. Come join us in the program. I was going with Grounded in God. I think that's still a good one. The name might shift. This next year is going to be kind of a building year of the just kind of updated program this way. But yeah, focused on body, mind, heart, spirit. So visit strongmen.io, apply to work together. There's a link there. Or click the link in the show notes. That'll take you straight to the page that explains the application. So go there. But if you go to strongmen.io, it'll take you to an application too. All right, man. Stay strong in God. Stay grounded in God. We will see you next episode.